Thank you so much for joining us on this teaching I titled 3 Steps to Unbreakable Marriage. 3 steps that you have unbreakable marriage. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9, it says 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. So marriage is better than being single. That's what the Bible says. It is better to be married than to be single. And in the New Testament, in Hebrews chapter 13 verse 4, it says marriage is honorable in all. That is, marriage should be honored by everybody. Marriage is honorable in all. And the bed undefiled. The married bed is undefiled. Whatever happens on the married bed does not defile the man. But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. The person moving from another, after the married bed, you go to another bed, it is defiled and God will judge you. So, the next verse says, let your conversation be without covetousness. Do not look and say the grass is greener on the other side. No, it is greener where you are. Drink water from thy own system and running waters from thy own well. So let the grass be greener where you are. Don't look around and say, what I have here, the shape is different, this is different compared to that. No, he said, be content with such things as you have. Be content with what you have with you already. For God has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake you. So that we will boldly say, the Lord is with us, the Lord is our help. So be content with what you have. Marriage is the first institution that was created by God. So the devil attacks marriage with everything. That's the first institution God created. God created marriage for companionship. He said it is not good for the man to be alone. And then number 2, for helper. They are supposed to help each other. He said, I will make him a helpmeet. And then number 3, for procreation. They are supposed to procreate, create godly seed to raise children in the way they ought to go for the Lord. So that's why God created marriage. Now, in the entire Bible, there has never been a marriage counseling prophet. There's no prophet anointed specially for marriage counseling. Almost all the marriages in the Bible had challenges. From in the beginning, Adam, when God made Eve and brought to Adam, he said, this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. They were happy and everything was rosy. Some people say marriage, the first 2-3 years is usually rosy, and then later certain things begin to come up. So they were happy. After the fall, God asked Adam, he said, have you done what I told you not to do? He said, the woman whom you gave to be with me. He referred to his wife as the woman. No longer my sweetheart, the woman. So they had challenge in that marriage. Abraham had challenge in his own marriage too. Abraham was married to Sarah. Another woman had to come in. Challenges, and Hagar had to live with Ishmael. So challenges were in Abraham's marriage. Abraham, our father. And Isaac, Abraham's child, also had challenges. Isaac preferred Esau. Rebecca preferred Jacob. And then that brought certain challenges in the house. And Jacob had his own challenges also, married Leah and Rachel. Leah's children ganged up to kill one of Rachel's child. So there was challenge in that marriage. None of them had the perfect marriage that somebody say marriage, a perfect marriage. None of them had it. And Moses, the prophet, also had challenges with his marriage. Zipporah didn't like circumcision. Moses circumcised the first child, and then the second child, he couldn't circumcise that child because Zipporah was against it. And after God met Moses, an angel wanted to kill Moses. And Moses spoke to Zipporah, and Zipporah had to circumcise that child. It brought a challenge between them. And Moses had other challenges too. David, the prophet, had a mega challenge. It's a celebrated challenge. Everybody's aware of the challenge in David's family, you know, with Micah, with Bathsheba, and with all of that. And the person who would have been like the marriage counselor was Solomon. Because Solomon had money, Solomon had wisdom, you know, and he was king. But Solomon also had challenges, you know. Some people will say a person that should advise on marriage should be somebody that married plenty. You know, Solomon married from everywhere, 1,000. He had 1,000 women. So they say, oh, he has experience, he has skill. So he should advise from experience and skill. It doesn't work like that. Solomon said, I'm still searching this. It is wisdom, all the wisdom of Solomon. He said, I'm still searching, my soul is still searching to find out this matter concerning marriage. He said, 1 man in 1,000 I have found. Out of 1,000 men, I've seen one that is faithful, one that I can rely on. He said, but a woman in this 1,000 women I have not seen one I can rely on. Of course, when you have 1,000 women, nobody can, there's none that will give you that assurance so much. In the New Testament, Peter was married, and he didn't speak much about marriage. It was Paul that was talking about marriage so much. When a man is married, he becomes quiet, you know. Anything you're speaking about marriage, the woman will look at it and feel, oh, so you are talking about me. You come out and face the consequences. So it is the single people that talk more about marriage. Don't do this, don't do that, you know. They give more about it. So, steps to unbreakable marriage. Number 1, you must understand that marriage is indissoluble. It cannot be dissolved. Once it happens, it is permanent. Marriage is not a contract. It's not a social contract that people come in, two people just come in and say, we'll do social contract. That's not marriage. Marriage is a covenant, and it is blood covenant. When blood covenant is violated, there are dire consequences. The consequences are very, very severe. A man could just get up sometimes and say, I gave this man my daughter to marry, and then things are not going well. I'll go and dissolve that marriage and bring the daughter back. You cannot do that. You don't have the authority to dissolve marriage. Or some women stand up and say, my son married and the woman is not giving birth. I will go there and dissolve the marriage. You can't do that. You lack the authority to do that. It cannot be dissolved. The Pharisees came to Jesus Christ and they asked him a question. They said, sir, is it lawful for any reason to divorce a woman? Jesus said no. That God created them from the beginning, male and female. And he said, for this cause, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. He said, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. A man cannot put asunder what God has joined together. It is before God that the covenant happened. And they asked him, this is Matthew chapter 19, verse 7. They say unto him, that is Jesus, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and put her away? He said, Moses told us that we can do bill of divorce, write, sign some papers, and then she can leave. He said, why did Moses do that? He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so. Because you were stubborn, because he cannot talk to you. So he allowed you to do this. In the days of ignorance, God allows. He said, but in the beginning, it is not the arrangement. And then he said, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery. His disciples say unto him, the disciples were amazed, they were shocked. They say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is good not to marry. Say it is better. If this thing is a trap, once we come in, we cannot get out, then it's better not to marry. It is good not to marry. And Jesus told them, you are correct. There are some teachings Jesus will teach, and the people say this is a hard saying. But Jesus said this one, that this particular one on this marriage, he said it's a hard saying. Not everybody can receive it. This is what Jesus told them. But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying. Everybody cannot accept this. Save to whom it is given, except to they that revelation is given to. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb. Some eunuchs, it's biological. They came out biologically and they are eunuchs. And there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men. For certain reasons, they were made eunuchs of men. And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuch for the kingdom of heaven's sake. They made themselves eunuch so that they will not be distracted. For the kingdom of heaven's sake, he that is able to receive it, let him receive it. Jesus said this is how it is. Some people have decided not to marry, to be eunuch, because of the kingdom of heaven's sake. He said he that can receive it, let him receive it. Marriage comes with inherent challenges. There are challenges that marriage comes with, which you must face as a person. It is a phase of life. It has its own challenges. There are, in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32, Paul said, but I will have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. He said the man that is single, care for the Lord. He can please the Lord at any time, do the Lord's will at any time. But he that is married, careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. When you are married, you now are responsible for the happiness of someone else. Before marriage, you can wear your clothes, wear your dress, wear your shoe, and go the way you want to go. But when you are now married, the perfume you wear, the wife might not like it. The way you dress, I want to go out, she might not like it. And you can't say, oh, I will do what I want. You can't do what you want. She looks at you and she's happy. So you are supposed to dress in a particular way that will make her happy. He said in 34, there is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. There are certain demands that the husband will make on you. So you care about how to please the husband. This has to happen. If you are a woman, for example, you didn't choose your parents. Like your father in your life, you didn't choose him. You have no covenant with him. Your brothers, you didn't choose them. The son you give birth to, you didn't choose him, there's no covenant. The man you married, you chose the man. You said, this is the man I want to marry. And there is covenant, and God honors that covenant. Likewise, the man, you don't choose your mother. You just come over and say that's your mother. You don't choose your sisters. You don't choose your daughter. The woman you married to, you went and picked her and said, this is the one I have chosen. It cannot be dissolved. You become one flesh. That is how it is. I've seen people talk against people they married. Maybe a woman talking about the husband and say, look at this useless man. I didn't know. If I knew this is the kind of person you are, I wouldn't have married you. But who are you? Look at, and then some men to talk, look at this, and begin to talk wrongly about their spouse. If you do that, your prayer will not be answered. If you talk against your spouse, your prayer cannot be answered. That's what the Bible says. You are causing a breach in the spirit. You are one body. You are talking against yourself. So in the spirit, you are causing a breach. Peter said in 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 1, he said, likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. And in verse 6, he said, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. In verse 7, he said, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers not be hindered. If this is not happening, your prayers will be hindered. The things you are looking for, you will not get it. Your ministry will not be accomplished. The person you marry can stop the way you serve God. Some people could take advantage of you. If you marry somebody that doesn't know God, he could begin to take advantage. You say you are a woman of God and look at the way you are behaving. And then they do certain things because you cannot, if you come out and voice certain things, they know it will affect your service to God. So they can take advantage of that. So women can take advantage of that too. You are a pastor and you are doing this, and then they take advantage. There was a pastor that the woman was talking too much. And then the man said, maybe it's because of a pastor. He removed the pastor shirt and hung it somewhere and came back and said, I'm no longer a pastor. Let me deal with this one. You can't do that. It will affect your service to God and you cannot come back. So you have to really be careful of who you marry. Marriage actually is a mirror. The idea of marriage is a mirror of the relationship between Jesus and the church. The church is the bride and Jesus is the groom. So it shows the relationship between Jesus and the church. It is indissoluble. It cannot end. It shows we are not perfect. Jesus gives us a perfect love. He is perfecting us to become the perfect bride. So it shows there are weaknesses in the church today, but Jesus still loves us unconditionally. He said the man should love the wife unconditionally as Jesus loves the church, and the woman should submit to the husband unconditionally. The priests, even in the Old Testament, the priests had different laws. The priests understood marriage more, that it showed something higher than what was obtainable. There was the regular people, those laws that Moses said right and divorce and all that, it was for the common people. The Levites had different laws from the regular people. The priests had different laws. The priests had one wife. They understood marriage. So we are priests. We in Christ now, we are priests. God has made us priests. So our understanding of marriage is different from the understanding of other persons. We understand that this is covenant and this is spiritual. Jesus Christ said, ye have not chosen me. He said, I have chosen you. Jesus Christ chose us and he will not let you go till he bring about what he has promised in your life. So number one, marriage is indissoluble. It cannot be undone. You must have this understanding. Time is up. So we'll continue some other time. Yeah, so like this video and subscribe so that when we do other videos, you will get it. God bless you and keep you. So keep winning and look forward to other videos that are coming up. I love you. Take care. Come for meetings so that you will get to know several other things. The issue of marriage cannot be ended in one day. You can't speak about marriage and end it. So we'll be doing several other videos and talking on this topic. God bless you. Thank you so much. I love you. Take care.